Good evening. This is CTV News for this Monday, November 4th. I'm Rochelle Metzger.
And I'm Patricia Vallone. Glad to have you with us tonight. Well, the Prince George's chapter of the NAACP is calling on Governor Martin O'Malley to put a stop to foreclosures in the state. The organization says there has been a dramatic jump in the number of people losing their homes in the past few months. Foreclosures were up by 32% in Prince George's over the last several months compared with earlier this year. The chair of the NAACP's Housing Committee blames the increase on unfair and questionable practices by lenders.
For example, maybe a homeowner is in the process of doing a modification, and then something called dual tracking happens where a foreclosure sale is put in place while they are waiting on the approval for modification. We're seeing a lot of that.
And who's mostly being affected by it?
African American and brown folk. That's the biggest issue.
What kind of response have you gotten from the governor's side of things in terms of?
He has not responded to the letter that we sent him asking for the moratorium. We have talked to Delegate Ivory and Delegate Brayboard on issues, and they are concerned about that. And we'll be talking to the issue because this is a two-pronged approach. We're going to start asking the governor. Then we're going to try to get legislation passed to help the homeowners stay in their home. We're not going to be able to save everybody, but we're surely going to try to save everybody.
And the NAACP wants a moratorium to be placed on foreclosures for 2 years. The organization is holding a public meeting on November 16th to discuss the issue. It will be from 11 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon at Jericho City of Praise in Landover.
Calling all voters, tomorrow is November 5th, Election Day. Here in Maryland, about 30 towns and cities will be holding municipal elections. In Greenbelt, 9 candidates are vying for 7 city council seats. One of those members will be chosen as mayor. Today, we spoke to several residents who say they plan to go to the polls on Tuesday.
I think the city council we have does a good job and has been doing a good job for a long time, and I think they should get back in to continue what they're doing.
No, I have no real concerns right now about the city. I think the present council's done a good job, and I intend to reinstall them.
The reason people don't vote in these elections is strictly a city election, and they tend to think that it's not as important as the federal and the state elections. But the closest government to you and the most has a practical effect on many things that we do is the city election.
Do you think it's important to go out and vote?
Yes, it is. It's very important. One vote can make a difference.
Voters in College Park have a contested race for mayor to decide for the first time in 24 years. Bowie and Laurel will also hold elections tomorrow.
An argument between several people leaves one man dead over the weekend. It started at the Exxon gas station on Central Avenue in Capitol Heights. That's where 2 men got into a confrontation with a group. Police say from there, things escalated.
Officers were responded to a location for a stabbing. Apparently, we had 2 adult males who got in an altercation with another group at a gas station. They drove away from that location and drove to a family member's house. Once there, one of the victims succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced dead on scene. And the other victim is still alive.
Okay, and no indication on what the fight was about?
No, all that's still under investigation at this time.
If you have any information about the murder, you are asked to call Crime Solvers. That number is 1-866-411-TIPS.
A 24-year-old man is behind bars for allegedly robbing a bank in College Park. Police say Khalil Mansari was taken into custody on Saturday. He's accused of going into the M&T Bank on Knox Road around 1 p.m. on Friday, where he passed the teller a note and demanded money. Mansari got away with an undisclosed amount of cash. During the investigation, police were able to identify him, and he was arrested over the weekend.
There is a new player in the District 26 Senate seat. Delegate Veronica Turner announced this afternoon her bid to unseat fellow Democrat Senator Anthony Muse. At a press conference in Fort Washington, Turner says that Southern Prince George's needs a different kind of leader in Annapolis. The delegate enters the race with the backing of the AFL-CIO.
We need to take a look at National Harbor to talk about the legacy of Veronica Turner. Because from day one, Veronica's mission was to make sure that that place hired workers, paid them well, and that that place was built and maintained by America's workers who carry a union card.
Well, I may not be that smooth talker like my opponent, but I believe action speaks louder than words. Yeah. I have spent a great deal of time talking to my constituents and listening to their concerns. So many people in my district, they need someone in the State House who will actually listen to them, who they can count on, who someone will represent them.
Senator Muse tells the Post that he is confident he will be reelected.
Starting today, undocumented workers in Maryland can begin the process of getting limited driver's licenses. The cards will allow them to drive legally, but include wording to indicate that they are not for federal use, which means license holders won't be able to use them as voter IDs or to board planes. Applicants will need to show proof of identification, provide 2 years of state income tax filings, and pass a written and a driving exam before getting the license.